So today we're going to be talking about where hackers spend their money. You'd be surprised at the places that they stick their money, whether it's laundering through brick and mortar, which is kind of very mafia-esque, or investing in their own industry. So if you know me a little bit, you probably know that I am a computer enthusiast. I'm a mathematician. I teach students math, but on my own time, I do a lot of tinkering with AI, computers, programming, with about 10 plus languages, depending on the situation. So this is my forte. This is potentially why you are here watching my videos, other than maybe some gaming videos I put up once in a while when I'm chilling out. But the case for this blew my mind. This blew my mind because I always suspected that hackers had a connection to something. I just didn't really think about it too much. And now this little interview or this little podcast here does a really good job explaining it. So we're going to be watching CyberNews, and I'm going to be reacting to how hackers spend their money, Russian hackers specifically, but who can really know exactly, where these hackers are. And you have VPNs, you have so many ways you can hide your identity. Could be Chinese hackers, could be Russian hackers, could be doppelgangers that are from one place but say they're from another just to be basically obfuscating their location. Who knows? But hackers in general. So let's get a start on this.
Hello.
I think it's
Hello,
funny.
and welcome to the Cyber News.
What you notice is these guys are such nerds. I love it. I absolutely love it. They probably talk plenty on the camera, but it always probably feels odd talking to a device, which to me it does too. I'm talking to a camera here, right? And a microphone, and assuming people will come in and watch. But you can kind of see the jitteriness, the kind of being in front of people, because we just like to be alone. We like to do our own stuff. And when they go in the front of a camera, because this is important stuff, they start to kind of like give out little like physical interactions that show a little bit of their, uh, I guess, nerdiness.
Podcast. Today we yappa about how cyber crooks are spending their money. We also discuss the Fortnite Darth Vader drama, and
Fortnite Darth
we
Vader.
proudly present our propaganda I'm not falling for list. It's very vogue on TikTok, turns out.
Oh,
And we're
TikTok.
so proud. Yes.
Yes, so
Yes.
proud.
So this is Jurgita La Penete, our boss, and this is Niv
Fiorita Le
Ancelotti.
I'm
Peñete.
just here.
our journalist. Yes, and I'm Ginteras. Nice to meet you. Yeah, so we begin with cyber
Nice to
criminals
meet you
and
too.
a report on how
They
they spend their money. I'm not for the first time. I'm not at all surprised at the findings of a cybersecurity company
Mhm.
about anything because it's just how regular people or criminals would spend their money, I guess, buying brick and mortar businesses just to have something stable and real and not something digital that they can lose in any second. But that's basically what the report by
Yeah.
Sophos, a cybersecurity company, says that the crooks operating in the digital space, they own businesses. They like to own businesses that you can visit,
Yeah,
like a vaping store,
tobacco industries and
car
stuff like
wash.
that.
I would imagine, just like watch The Sopranos, and you will know the answers provided
Basically.
also in this report. But maybe you found something interesting and not known to you before in the report, ladies.
Well, oh, ladies. Well, I thought it was
Not us.
not me. I am no lady.
Okay.
I found it ironic that they invest in cybersecurity businesses. That was the one
That
thing
was
that
the
I
one
found.
thing is that was pretty ironic to
But
me.
also, maybe it makes sense because they know what cybersecurity companies are doing to kind of track down threat activity.
The biggest growth in the future is going to be cybersecurity. And who has stock market symbols? You've got Cloudflare. You've got countless other companies that essentially work with the internet in the security format. So you being a threat actor, a person of a cyber criminal, knowing that your actions will pump a market because their actual usefulness, their usage will be more and more, it's almost genius. It's almost like micro strategy. buying Bitcoin to make Bitcoin go up, and then in turn having their own stock go up because they're connected to Bitcoin, and then having this circular parasitic growth sequence. Same thing with this. You're a hacker. You know that the services in the future are going to be higher. You hack. You get money. You invest in the system or in the industry that you're essentially manifesting into existence. That makes perfect sense. It's genius, actually. But it's genius, but doesn't mean it's good. And that's the problem here.
And all that
So
kind of stuff. So
money
maybe
money don't smell. They don't really care. They do that as any legitimate investor would do, right? Diversify their
Yeah.
Portfolio.
investments, and it just showcases again that it doesn't really matter for them, and then they have a lot of sources for their income, right? Definitely some of the illicit businesses and scams being one of them, but they're
Yeah.
not. They also do the all of it, the pyramid schemes. They also try to uh, like invest
Probably
in
crypto.
restaurants
Yeah.
and elsewhere.
Restaurants.
Some of it is just to launder money, and
I think most of it is to
what
launder.
Yeah.
the interesting thing, what not surprised me, but what I found curious, is that they hire some people to declare the money from prostitution. Let's say, like in Canada, it's legal to sell
Ah,
those services, and so people, they just declare that, oh, I got this money from prostitution, when they actually didn't. But it's just one way to launder money. But also from what I got from
so have your money income be from prostitution because it's less of a crime than hacking and holding companies like hostage for ransom? Like, I guess that makes sense too.
five part report from the company, is that they also just earn money from some of those businesses, right? Because they are just like any, I don't know, businessman. So you have like a lot of money to spare, and then you just had this cool idea that, oh, I really want to have like a car repair shop or a restaurant or something. Like, part of it could be just to launder money, but part of it is just like a hobby, I guess.
Yeah,
It
like
seems that way, because it doesn't seem like, this is a good way to launder like huge amounts of money, or things like that.
like
So
it's
some of the businesses mentioned in the report just seem that maybe they just really wanted to do that. It's just kind of the dream of theirs. It's just
wanted
that
to own a restaurant or something. It's not just out of necessity.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you can look at it like, okay, so you have a dream, let's say, right, to own
I
a
have a dream.
I don't.
a pet hairdressers or whatever, and a hotel, a motel,
Holiday Inn.
yeah, whatever. But I mean, you don't have money if you're a regular dude in your 20s somewhere in the U.S. or Europe even. And how do you get the money? Where's the capital coming from? I mean, how long does a cybersecurity criminal career really take? I mean,
You can only do so much until you get caught. So why not take what you have, not spend it ravishly, and literally just use up all the money you illegally got, but invest it, not only clean it, but also invest for your future. Like, when we think of criminals, you've got we have to kind of really observe the intentions of criminals in general. You've got a person going into um, a gas station and, you know, getting the money from that gas station. But no one really goes for the intentions of it. You can probably say crime has increased over time. Sure. Maybe it's decreased because of technology. Sure. But we never observe the criminal in its purest form. And many times it's a person struggling in some form or fashion, and a person that may have a family that they're trying to take care of. And as the natural, like, nature, the animal kingdom deducts, back in the day, we would go, if we didn't have any option, we'd go try and find whatever food we could, even if it was a bear that could kill us. Same thing. Nowadays, it's hard to get a job. There's a lot of economic struggles, and people are gonna take the highest risk situation to feed their families. There are like kind of objective senses here that we don't necessarily think about behind the intentions of a cyber criminal. Is it always the case? Probably not. Definitely not. Um, but society in itself can motivate these individuals to conduct the actions they do because there's like, are you going to struggle with life right now as you are, or you're given a specific skill set that you can use to your advantage to get out of your situation? As cyber criminals will do what they can, right? In the case of cyber criminals, intelligence here is the culprit of their actions. They can use that intelligence for the good, which many times you're probably not going to get as paid as you would if you did it illegally, right? So the intentions and the way we actually contribute to those skill sets really does determine the actions of a lot of people. And of course, there are individual moralistic dilemmas.
You can do some stuff online for to get some money legally
Mm.
via, be it ransomware or whatnot, and you do it for like 5 years, you get a million or two or 10, and then you sort of retire and start a legal business.
Yeah,
That's one scenario, I would imagine.
surely it's not viable like long term,
Yeah.
right? And it's difficult, especially like we know that a lot of young people get into cybercrime kind of biz also because of, let's say, they can't land even an entry level job within the industry that declares that there's a skill shortage, but they still don't hire people, without experience, let's say. So then people say, oh, darn it, we're just gonna, like find some illegal money, like steal the capital you
Mm.
need to kickstart something, because we're not talking only about big guns here and huge, like cybercrime mafia. Obviously, some of them are there in the long term, and they want to pursue this, and maybe that's their whole life. But
I mean, you can, I guess, assume that some people's technical egos can take them to the point of I'm the greatest hacker in the world, and I'm just going to continue and they'll never catch me. But if you're a logical person that knows basic statistics, risk reward eventually runs out, and you can be as you can reduce your risk as much as you can, but over time, doing the same thing multiple times, you increase your risk simultaneously. Um, so yeah, I mean the smart choice, I guess, for hackers would be to do what they do, get whatever they can, and then invest it into an actual legitimate process. And those are the ones that don't necessarily care for clout. They don't care for anything else other than, hey, I'm just trying to survive. But then there's the others that are considered want to be well known, want to create the virus for any particular big reason and to be known by some case scenario, and then they're probably going to be the ones that get caught. And it's kind of a childish mentality um, to want to be renowned for something like this, especially. Um, Everyone wants to be a celebrity in some field, and this is like the hacker version of that. Like some dude that just basically tries too hard to be known and drastically increases his risk of what he does. Yeah.
for many, this is really just kind of a
A
way
means
of
to an end.
precisely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine. And with okay, so maybe someone's going to be willing to find out where's that money coming from, like IRS or whatnot. But I think with crypto and money laundering from crypto to like cash, uh, I hope the institutions and agencies understand and think about where the money is coming from and analyze their flows. But at the same time, I don't know, they don't seem able to keep up,
Mm.
as is the rule in cyber criminal world. I mean, they always are a step ahead anyways. And who really cares where's that 100,000 coming from, to open up a restaurant somewhere in New Jersey or New York, like Lockbit did, I think.
Yeah.
Two of them. So, I think it's pretty.
Lockbit was one of those ransomware viruses, and I guess there's news that the people or some of the people that actually got money from ransom made their own restaurants. Like, you're not going to go high profile. You're not going to open up and try to become the next big company. Like they said, it's a means to an end. This is also the key for like criminals in general. Why do criminals exist? it's always a case of means to an end. It's not that they have the worst intention for people around them. It's just that it's a survival technique for a living being, in a world, in a society that separates people by financial statuses. So a means to an end doesn't mean that they are generally horrible people, right? There will be potentially, but and in this case, I've seen a lot of hacks recently that expose the data, sensitive data of the corporation and of, I think Coca-Cola is one of them, and of the employers and employees that work there. It doesn't exploit potentially, don't quote me on this one, but it doesn't exploit the customers because they're kind of innocent bystanders. So they kind of say, hey, we have a bunch of information about your company. And it probably also means that companies don't care about their customer data because honestly, everyone's data is on the internet by now. That's why there's so many companies that essentially try to like, hey, we can clear out your data. Just pay a monthly bill and we'll call people and we'll say, hey, delete this person's information. Like private data is not private anymore. It's public database now. So this might be a case where, these individuals, they know that the customer data is not that important anymore, so they attack the company itself to try and get what they can, and then later start their own little business on the side after they launder their money.
Eh, I don't. I wouldn't do it. I guess. But the main feature for like people in their 20s, their 30s, or even younger teens, because there's a bunch of teen hackers.
Look, the future is going to be that. The future is going to be where more people and being a hacker, I have to, I guess, talk about this because not a lot of people understand it. Being a hacker is not intentionally learning a specific subject called hacking, right? It's just computer skills that you learn growing up. And many times the best of the hackers are just individuals that use those skills creatively, expose memory slots creatively, using methods that normal people that just work in office jobs would never consider. So when you're thinking of a hacker, it's like, hey, it's a computer tech guy that knows his way around networks and code and scripts and has basically found some or created some APIs or some sort of code database that they can use to exploit things. Specifically, there's already a whole operating system based on counter hacking, Kali Linux, which used to be called Backtrack. And like in a way, you can be both a hacker and a security expert, but in the future, people are going to be very renowned, I think, with computer systems to a way where anyone can essentially be a hacker, like these 20-year-olds. Because essentially all you have to do is just learn about the concepts and move forward with them. And you have a choice then. It's a moral choice whether you're a black hat or a white hat, or somewhere in the middle like a gray hat. So I feel like because these skills are going to be essentially easier to grasp, especially now with AI, you can get AI to code stuff for you. Potentially, most may not understand the code that is in front of them, but those that take the time to read the code and learn it will be the ones that come out on top in the end. There's vibe coding where you just type in a prompt and your AI creates something for you. And then there's like actual coding where you go in that code the AI gave you and modify it to your liking. But that requires knowledge in some form or factor.
Is that they're on average pretty poor and really smart.
Yeah.
So I think that's a combo.
Yeah.
Driving them towards this path.
Yeah.
And one day, like you get this, and
It's
I think
sad.
I did, that you don't want to end up doing criminal shit
Surely
all
it's
your life.
very
basically.
stressful and takes a toll on your
and
health.
as long as you have a target, whatever you want to do, you reach the financial, capabilities, and then you just you do it. I don't believe that for many restaurant is like the dream. I guess for younger folks it's not. Probably some of them stay in the digital world. They open up like YouTube stuff, or
But I think we see like cyber criminals in a very one-dimensional sense, whereas
they're just
like,
us basically.
yeah, exactly. They have like
That's it.
ambitions and like you
They
said,
have
hobbies,
dreams. Yes.
hobbies outside of what they're doing, and like like Yurgita said, the barrier for entry is lower, I guess, into cybercrime if you've got the tools and you've got the know-how.
Don't
Yeah.
even to have don't need to have that much know-how these days, like with
AI.
automation and whatnot. There are a lot of tools off the shelf. I'm also quite confident about the fact that many of them don't really know what they are doing, and it's hard for them to see the line between what is actually crime if you are like not scamming someone in person and you are just doing some coding. Might be like gamification,
Mm-hmm.
moment here for younger people. Also, why not? I think all, even like young people, they do have very down to earth dreams, right? They might, I think, why people want to like open YouTube is often because they hear that that's how you can earn money fast, right?
Yeah.
But we also see examples from the legitimate businesses, right, where some sort of
I wouldn't say YouTube. For me personally, at least, it's not about making money for me. I'm again a teacher. I could care less. I probably won't ever put ads on YouTube. My key scenario is I provide content, you know who I am, and then I give you and tell you about how I can teach you to do stuff. And that's where I do my actual work. So I'm an educator, right? I work within companies to teach students of all levels, from sixth grade up to 12 plus college and university, on mathematics specifically. But I've had plenty of students in the past doing computer programming as well. When Take Lessons used to be a website before Microsoft basically turned it off. I would do a lot of things. I would teach students that were like 10 years old how to create Roblox games, or I would teach how to program web servers for to 13, 14, 15-year old. It just, you have to have the interest. Once you have that interest, there's a source for you to expand on it, right? No one can give you the interest. That's a personal stepping stone forward towards success. And I just want to be that tool that can be used. Granted, I still have to eat as a human being, right? I still have expenses I got to take care of. But in the end, my services on Patreon are where I can say, hey, all my content and my teaching and my information is free. I don't care about making money on it, right? All I care is you know who I am. And if you ever need me, I'm here to help. And that's it. Go to Patreon, Super Scholar Chris MIA, and sign up and basically become one of my students. And that's it. That's all I care for. But a lot of people will want to basically create, and this is the problem nowadays too. You can have an AI generate images, videos, sounds, voices, and then it just becomes an automated system where a programmer like me that cares about having a huge audience to benefit from advertising will create a full system like this on their computer, or they'll create a server that can pump out this kind of information. And it'll be basically AI slop, but it'll be attractive enough to get people to watch, or deceiving enough to get people to be activated by the information. And when you have this sort of emotional attachment, this sort of conflicting thing on the internet, call it viral, they can benefit from it. So there are people that exploit their knowledge in order to benefit from YouTube. That's the worst part about it, and that could be the thing that really takes down content in the future. And you might be looking for someone like me that's chilling with a horrible background that's like, hey, I'm a real human being, what's up? That's it. Like, that might be what we're looking for in the future. No more of those faceless YouTubers that have like a robotic sounding voice and all that kind of stuff. Maybe eventually we'll get to that point when people get tired of seeing AI slop. You'll be looking for human slop like me. I don't know. So that's really the intentions here. Yeah, there's a lot of people going to YouTube, but I don't think the expectation is to really start fast, and unless you are doing it in this sort of AI slop method where you start controversies through your channel, and you basically the no type of um no attention. Bad attention is also good attention, right? You can create, sorry, I had to think about that for a second. There's another word for it, but bad attention is still attention. So even if you cause conflicts and you cause controversy, you're still getting attention, and online you profit from that attention. So take that as what you will, but a lot of people are basically using YouTube as a scapegoat to make side money, just from the ad revenue. Anyway, I think I'm gonna stop it here. this is very interesting to me, this kind of subject. I'll probably go into more cybernet, cybersecurity stuff in the future, but I do like to kind of scope this out. If you follow me on X at TWL Christoph, TWL is Techware Labs. I used to be a journalist there for basically reviewing hardware and all kinds of stuff. But it's not just my general broadcasting information, including at one point I was looking at a lot of the 2023 Chinese balloon hacks that happened in February, I believe, and I was reporting on a lot of cyber map activity. Man, if you know where to look, if you know what the data pieces to analyze, you see that the internet is very loud right now and has been for the last 2, 3 years, potentially between Russia, China, and United States. And it's just going to get louder and louder and louder, and people are going to get more into this subject. I had somebody on in my office hours ask me how or where do I start in penetration testing, and I'm like, well, start with like Nmap, make a Python Nmap clone, understand how sockets work, and then continue from there. Like that's a good starting point. But like more people are interested in this, and it's interesting to see because kind of fulfills that future where a general skill set would be in the future that people just know how to create tools to overcome computers in some form or fashion. Cyberpunk, anyone? Like maybe? But there's going to be a wide gap, of course. There's going to be still computer illiterate people and then computer advanced people. I think the middle will be pretty gray as far as consistency. So go ahead, check out CyberNews. I'll leave the link in the video description. But man, yeah, these Russian hackers, they're basically laundering their money, and it doesn't have to be Russian. Again, it can be any hacker. If you're smart, you're not gonna just take the risk of what you're doing and then just throw that money away on a yacht. That's a giveaway. That's a huge giveaway. You know, like this person buys a yacht. It's like, all right, let's look at all the local yacht sellers. Let's see what's happening. Because that's what happens when any investigation is see where abnormal amounts of money has moved and then check out the list of people that have been buying stuff, right? Or if you have some sort of event that happens like a bomb, then you look for the recipients of specific ingredients that are within a specific radius. So you try to track down this kind of detail. But if you're just investing that same money into a corporation that you're going to probably never touch until 10 years in the future, that money's gone from the system. You're just leaving it in an investment and that's it. So, man, they're smart. They're very smart. But the future is going to be interesting, y'all. I say get into cybersecurity quick. Know how to defend yourself first and foremost. And it makes me kind of want to play some of Black Hat again. No, Grey Hack? Grey Hack. That game I used to play. I might start playing some Grey Hack. It sounds like a plan. Anyway, thanks for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day. And like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Dislike it if you want to. Either way works out. I'm not here to make super high quality stuff yet. I'm still learning. But in the end, I'm just trying to be informative as best as I can. So I'll see you next time. Peace out.